Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. Chris Holman here, and we're coming to you from the Grand Hotel, and we are at, of course, the Detroit Regional Chamber of Commerce's annual policy conference. And here, you hear a lot about what happens on stage and the dignitaries that are here. You don't know what happens in the back rooms, and here's a guy who does, right? Glenn Stevens, head of MICHauto. It's always good to see you, Glenn.
Good to see you, Chris. Thanks for having me on.
That's good to have you. Usually we have to grab you between major announcements out on the porch or something.
Right.
So tell me about this conference. What's going on?
It's been typical, but it's also been a little bit different. And I think there's a lot of uncertainty. I've heard this from a few people, and we all know why. We know what's happening nationally and internationally and even in Michigan. So I wouldn't call it a cloud, but I'd call it a feeling. Because we all know that what is going to transpire this year and next year with elections is really important. But for us, we had 60 auto execs up here too for meetings that are part of the conference called MICHauto on the island. So that was important too.
Yeah. Okay. Anything come out of that? I mean, but are we going to see flying cars soon? Or
Nah, not anytime soon. I think the issues are the same,
yeah,
but the issues have been compounded by tariffs.
yeah.
So the trade situation has really made it difficult for the industry to look at with surety where they're going. So it's been a lot of paralysis and a lot of analysis. Programs have been delayed, jobs have been impacted, and that was not in the cards this year, but that is what happened with this administration. So talent, technology, transition, global competition like China, those issues we knew about, trades compounded it.
Right. No, you're absolutely right, and I think it's forced people more into a adversarial position.
Yeah.
And I worry about that when we come out of all this.
Well, we don't need any more
No, we do
adversarial
not.
situations.
You're right.
You and I talked about that. I think right now, I don't want to get cliche or corny, but we are at a very transformational point for our auto industry,
Yeah.
our economic development, our communities, and our people in this state. And 10 million people rely on us to give them direction in lives, and we need to do things differently. And that's the time we're in right now.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Okay, let's get back to mobility
Yep.
because you predicted last year that things would slow a little bit on the electric
Yeah.
cars, electric autos. They have.
They have.
All right.
They have.
How are the hybrids doing?
Hybrids are doing great.
Yeah.
I think what we're going to see the market shake out over the next 5 years or so is about a third of the vehicles will be internal combustion engines, a third will be hybrid, and probably a third will be electric, which is a lot, but that's not what was predicted. It was a much
Yeah.
more of a hockey stick demand prediction. So we've seen demand slow, but we're not going to see it stop for electric vehicles. They are the technology of the future.
Well, so was it market demand that slowed it, or was it lack of infrastructure?
Yes, it's all the
Okay,
above.
both of them.
So is market demand. It's the pricing of the vehicles are still high.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is infrastructure, and now we have policy that's potentially slowing it.
Well, that's true. A lot of the rebates, a lot of the, yeah, you're
That
absolutely
lot
right.
is in the question right now,
Yeah.
particularly with the House budget proposal in the U.S. Congress.
What's interesting? We're actually seeing in aviation electric
Oh yeah,
planes,
absolutely.
you know.
Yep.
So it's got to be moving in that direction. Solar, the movement in solar is going to
It is
help
for
that
for
as
a
well.
variety of reasons. Uh, our climate is one reason, but it's also a simpler technology.
Hmm.
It's a more fun technology. I mean, driving an electric vehicle is a different experience.
Yeah, it
The
is.
acceleration, the feel,
The
the way
quiet.
the quiet. Yeah, I mean, so that it's different, and I think particularly with younger demographics, we're going to see that they want more of that, and that market will prove that out. But the consumer will drive it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. What about the fuel cell? Where's that gone?
Well, I think it's still there, particularly for over-the-road truck,
Yeah.
heavy-duty truck. I mean, I think we're seeing a home for it there, but that's probably a little ways away for passenger vehicles.
All right. From a legislative standpoint, where are we advocating the most?
Well, one of the things we advocated last year, which was put in place, was the R&D tax credit in
Yeah.
Michigan. We didn't have that.
Right.
We were the only Midwest state, only one of 9 that didn't. So that's good. I think what we're advocating, we need consistency in economic development. That's one thing. And that means we're going to invest in manufacturing, but we're also going to invest in innovation and be consistent about that. That's really where we're focused right now.
All right. So we've got a kind of a wait and see, basically, in the auto industry at this point.
They're still in a wait and see.
Yeah.
We really are. There was a pretty significant U.S. Trade court ruling yesterday, which in effect blocked the tariffs that have been put in place by the administration. That was kind of a big development. We don't know what that means yet, but it's more uncertainty, and that's not good for an industry that needs certainty.
Well, and what they're trying to do, I think, is determine what is legal and what is not,
Mhm.
because basically tariffs are a legislative situation.
They are by constitution, they
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
The president used the Emergency Powers Act. The court has just said that that was an overreach of that, and that'll be appealed. And so we're going to go back and forth, but that still means uncertainty for the industry.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Well, you keep them certain and positive. You understand?
Going to try. That's my job.
All right, good. Glenn Stevens, who's the executive director of MICHauto. Thanks for being with us, buddy.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks for the good work you do, too.
Thank you.
All right. You're watching the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network, coming to you from the Grand Hotel on Mackinac Island, where we're part of the Detroit Regional Chamber of Commerce's annual policy conference. I'm Chris Holman.